Okay, and although my cat Osiris has been hiding this whole day in his box, I wonder if he's going to come out with this conversation. That would be pretty cute.
Jumps right up.
I know. And he'd probably come to you, not me, because he is incredibly pissed at me right now.
You can come over.
Are you going to come see Tiffany?
You have a hot take you want to put on a podcast?
Oh, absolutely.
The Podcats.
The Podcats. Hello, and welcome to The Essence of You. I am Steph Localani, and I'm here today with my really, really good friend, Tiffany Eller. She calls herself a creative human, and so I want to dive into that. But what I like to do is tell people how we met. I don't remember. I feel like you've just always been there.
Oh, that's really sweet. The first time I remember you is going to a soul collage class at your studio for our mutual friend Nova, and I think I met you there at your studio.
Okay, that's right. And I was hiding behind my curtain because I didn't have an actual office, so I had a curtain set up for a makeshift office.
Beautiful.
That's right. And then from there...
The rest is history.
The rest is history.
Yeah, I think I contacted you to use your studio.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if that was our first contact. We just started hanging out, though.
Yeah, we did.
We went and got a beer.
Yeah. I love friendships like that.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I know it's been a couple years.
Yeah, because that was my old space.
Uh-huh.
So it would have at least been 2023, moving into 2024.
That's
and
what
then,
I was thinking.
Yeah. So, wow, 3 years.
Aww.
Look at us.
Look at us. We're like real friends.
We are.
And we don't have any pictures together, so that must be true.
Yeah, exactly. People are like, I can't tell if you guys are friends. There are no photos. Well, we are.
You only know if you're real friends if there are no photos.
I agree. I'm taking yoga teacher training.
Ooh.
And I went to a yoga meeting with some other potential teachers, and one of them knows you. And I know that because she said what she did. Canberra.
Oh, yes.
The theater.
Yes. I'm in a production right now, and she is doing the lighting, I believe. She's the lighting designer.
Okay. Now, tell me about this show. This is the first time you're going to be on stage ever.
Yes, as an actor. I mean, I've done a lot of stage time as an MC, so I'm good at talking at people, but I've never done the whole theater thing. I've never memorized a script. I've never played a character. So the show I'm in is by the Luminary, which is a female-run newer theater company here in Boise, and the show is called Funnie, the most lamentable comedy of Jane the Foole. It's about a female court jester, or wannabe court jester, who really wants to be in King Henry VIII's court, but finds herself in a situation where she's kind of in a men's world, and something pretty horrifying happens to her. And then the second half of the play is kind of the fallout of that. And it's mostly a commentary on women and how common sexual assault is, and how women's voices aren't heard often, or they don't feel like they have a platform to even speak when something like that happens. So it goes from being really funny to being quite heavy, which has been quite the experience for me as a first-time actor, because I feel like I'm really getting to explore all of my emotions. I get to be goofy. I play Bessie the Handmaiden. I'm a Cockney handmaiden, which I've also never done an accent before.
Oh, I love that, Gavna.
But yeah, I get to be silly and bold, and then I get to be angry and sad, and kind of just go back and forth through the entire human experience in this, 2-hour show. So, yeah.
And tell me more about this. Well, tell the listeners more about this, because I think you've told me it was written by this group, correct?
Not this one.
Not this one. Oh, okay.
So the Luminary has done productions in the past where they have devised the plays themselves, where they all write together. And this is going to be the first one that they do that they did not write.
Okay.
Yeah, so this play is by Jessica Moss.
Mm-hmm.
I'm unfamiliar with her body of work, but the play is fun and historical and serious and good themes throughout. And I would say, like, it kind of plays on the whole Louis C.K. thing that happened in comedy back in, I don't know, 2013, 14-ish. So think like that. Think like the MeToo movement, but set in King Henry VIII's court.
Oh, that is brilliant.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch this. It's this month, isn't it? In May?
Yeah.
We're recording in May, and this particular episode should come out in a couple weeks.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It might come out right around the time it's opening. So, yeah, we have shows May 20th through 29th at the Comedy Lounge, which is over on Vista behind the Washerwoman.
Oh, okay. Lounge at the End of the Universe. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Now the Comedy Lounge.
Now the Comedy
Yeah.
Lounge. Okay. Thank you for that clarification. I will make that note.
It's great, too, because a few years ago, I ran the Idaho Pun Slam, and I opened it at the Lounge at the End of the Universe. So doing this show feels kind of like going home a little bit.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
What made you decide to audition to be an actor?
Well, I've been the managing director for the Boise Bard Players for the last almost 5 years, and I'm around a lot of theater. I go see a lot of theater. I go to every show that we do in a production, and seeing all of it, I'm like, oh, I want to do it. I could do that. Or like seeing a bad actor sometimes, I'm like, oh, I could do it better. I don't know if that's true, but it's the ego talking, you know?
Mhm.
So I had always just kind of wanted to see if I could, and had always had a lot of self-doubt about my ability to memorize. And I was like, no, now's my time. I gotta try it. So I set the goal that I was just going to audition, and I did, and it led to a role.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, they told me that I was the first person they cast, which made me feel so warm and fuzzy inside.
Yeah. That is so. Are you nervous?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so nervous.
Can I pass on a little bit of wisdom as
Please.
someone who's done, I haven't done it in years, but who grew up doing theater?
Yes, please. I did not know you did theater, and I need to hear more.
Oh, girl. I miss it. I loved it. But one word of wisdom I'd like to pass along is if you are feeling nervous, good. You're supposed to. If you don't feel nervous, then you've reached like whatever the top is or some shit like that. But if you're feeling nervous, that means you're going to do incredible because you're going to be on top of your game. That nervousness and that anxiety is going to help you. Your lines are going to stay memorized. Your entrances and exits are going to be right on top. And yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're
Okay, that
welcome.
makes me feel better because I've kind of been having nightmares.
Oh.
Not directly about the show, but it's just that like anxiety that like, what if I can't? What if I don't do well? What if my accent's terrible? What if I forget my lines? Like, you know, the typical nerves.
Yes.
But there's time.
There's time, and you're supposed to have those. And it'll be good.
Thank you.
I can't wait. I'm going to come see it. I don't know what my calendar looks like at that time, but I'm going to make room for it.
I'd love to see you there.
Yeah. And tell us a little bit more about Boise Bard Players. I know you guys are doing Much Ado About Nothing right now.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it to align with my schedule.
This Saturday is your only chance because we're sold out on our closing night.
Really?
Yeah. So the Boise Bard Players, just to give a little background, is a nonprofit here in Boise that makes Shakespeare and other classics affordable and accessible to people in the Treasure Valley. And Much Ado About Nothing has kind of been a special show because it's the first time we've done like a truncated script. So it's a 1-hour show.
Oh.
Easy, like little snack. It's a little snack Shakespeare. So we do a 7:00 general admission and then a 9:00 spicy adult night where we get to play up all the Shakespeare sex jokes that went over your head in high school.
Oh.
It's a lot of fun.
Is that this Saturday?
That's this Saturday. I know you ain't doing nothing at 9 p.m.
No, I'm usually in bed, but I will say no to that this weekend.
It is only an hour, so.
Okay, because I'm thinking about my hesitation right now is Frodo and the cats because we're staying in an
Yeah.
Airbnb. But I think they'll be okay for an
could do
hour.
an
I can put them in
hour.
the studio at night if I need to. Okay, I'll be
Yeah.
there.
Oh my
9
gosh,
o'clock
I'd
on
love
Saturday.
to see you. Yeah.
Okay,
It's going to be fun.
it will be. I'm excited. Okay, so There's so much to talk to you about because I love all the things that you do. Tell me, we went through Boise Bard Players and the show that you've got coming up. Talk to me about the different forms of art that you do.
Oh my gosh, Steph. What don't I do?
I know, huh?
I just get ADHD over creative projects.
Mhm.
So I will dabble in anything. I have dabbled in just about everything from, I don't know, window murals to coloring books to crocheting to like, I've done everything. I'd say right now, my creative energies are going into writing a play for the first time.
Oh my gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So my partner, Dakota Brown, and I are writing a play that doesn't have a title yet. Maybe you can help me with that. But it centers around a living room in 1938, the night that the War of the Worlds broadcast goes out.
Oh.
And so it plays on this hysteria aspect that, if you know any of the history of the War of the Worlds, a lot of people missed that it was a radio play and got really scared. And rightfully so, because in 1938, Hitler was rising to power. And so there was a lot of like fear about America being pulled into war over there. And so we're writing this play, and it really doesn't center much around the broadcast itself. That's just kind of a framing device. But it's about a family where like a teenage son and his mom don't get along because his mom's so wrapped up in the media that she hears all the time, and that's all she can talk about and all she can think about. And she doesn't realize that she's pushing her husband and her son farther and farther away from her by consuming so much of it. So it's lovely. I can't believe we wrote a play, but yeah, so they go head to head kind of in their own ideologies in their own living room, and their Jewish immigrant neighbors come over, and we hear a little bit about their story and their interaction with the mom, and that kind of goes sour really fast. So it's heartfelt, it's poignant to today, and a lot of the conversations I think people have in their own living rooms about, you know, how many parents are out there that have different political beliefs than their kids, and like those relationships that are deteriorating because they can't find a middle ground. Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping to bring into it. And yeah, I've been really inspired working with Dakota. He's written a few plays, and it's been fun to like work alongside him and get to see behind the curtain a little bit.
That's incredible. And I've met Dakota through you, and I really like him. He's an awesome person.
Oh, he's so cool.
Well, let me step back a second. What are your plans after you write it? Are you going to produce it and perform it, or what?
I'm glad you asked, because I'm also writing a grant to hopefully like fund that project. So it's almost done. We're probably a few pages away from the end, and next steps would be get a reading of it on a stage somewhere here in Boise, and like put it in front of an audience, do some edits, like clean it up a little bit, and then I don't know, from there, like I would love to see a full production of it if it takes off.
I would too.
And I think it is relevant, and I think it's hard hitting.
Oh, it absolutely is. I am in a family where my parents and I do not agree politically in any way, and it's really hard to talk about it. My youngest brother is able to have those arguments with my dad, at least. But I just try to skirt past it and not talk about it.
Yeah, and like how do you find, can you find a place where you can love them anyway?
Exactly. Yeah. I was going to offer, if you want to do the reading here at the studio, you can. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I'd give it to you for free. Yeah.
Okay, well.
That'd be so fun.
Tuck that in my pocket.
Yeah, absolutely.
That'd be so cool.
It would be really cool. Okay. I would love to host that.
Oh, I can't wait to tell Dakota.
Yeah.
The play needs a title. We don't know what to call it because it's just been called War of the Worlds, parentheses, untitled play.
Oh, okay. We could ask the people listening and watching to name this. Okay. So put in the comments what you think the title of this play should be. We'll see what happens.
Knowing what you know.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I love that. So tell me some other artistic stuff.
Oh boy, what else have I been doing? I don't know. A lot of my creativity goes into making videos for clients at this point. Like I also have a part-time job working for a play place out in Nampa, and my boss and I will just make like the goofiest little skit reels and
I've
stuff
seen
like
those.
that. So I really enjoy video editing. I don't do it for myself though, so I don't know. I'm so caught up in like my rehearsal process and writing this play that's kind of what I've been doing lately. But
I love that. Good for you, though.
thank you.
Yeah, because I don't get to do a ton of creative stuff as well because
Your
everything goes
job
to
is
my
so
clients.
creative.
Yeah. And they get all of that. They get so much of that creativity that when it comes to me, I'm like, I have no idea what I'm even thinking right now. There are no thoughts for stuff going on.
That's when like a coloring book is really good because it's
Ooh,
just like I don't have to think, but I can feel like I'm making. And then by the end, you got a pretty little thing.
that's true. Or those, what is it, like paint by numbers,
Mm.
but it's paint and sip. So I did that once. Frodo used to go to a day camp here, and they hosted a thing where you come with a photo.
Oh.
Yeah. And they draw it out. And so I have a painting of Frodo that
That you made?
I painted it in, yes.
Oh, cool. They give you the paint by number of your
Yeah.
dog?
Uh-huh. Yep, they drew it. And it's a really silly photo because he's not smiling. He's actually looking like Mr. Frodo looks all the time, which is just no smile.
Is he smug?
He's very smug.
But he's a good boy.
He's a very good boy. Yes. I had to give him a little calming treat right before you came. Like as soon as my alarm went off, I was like, oh shit, Frodo, you need a treat. And so that is, hopefully he won't bark.
Oh, he just wants to be on the podcast.
He does.
He's got a lot to say.
He has so much to say.
So many opinions.
Yes. As every 14-year-old dog has. Tell me what brought you to this moment in your life today? Start as early or as late as you want to.
Oh my gosh. Like the existential part of me is like, my whole life has been leading up to this moment. I don't know. I find that like I just kind of get roped into whatever inspires me in a moment. And like the last few years of my life have really been dedicated to the Boise Bard players because that inspired me. I was inspired by my partner, Chris Canfield, the artistic director, and what he was doing for Boise and like how he was making that art accessible. And it was like he makes it so obvious that it's so important to him, and like the passion he has is just contagious. So when I saw that, I was like, yes, I want to help, propel that. So that's been a big driving factor for me the last few years, which has really enmeshed me in the theater community. So that's where I've found myself. I was never a theater kid in high school, like we established. I didn't do theater, but I was always theater adjacent. And everything I've done now has been like the next logical step is the best way I can put it. Is like I always just take the next logical step. And to get a little bit more woo-woo, I've found that my body gives me signs if I'm like in alignment or out of alignment. And as I've gotten older, that out of alignment feeling is very present when it's present. And it's unavoidable. I can't ignore it if I'm feeling out of alignment. So ultimately, like my path may change quickly, but it's always to the benefit of like listening to me. And so I don't know. I just find myself in new situations all the time.
I love that. Can I ask you, what does it feel like in your body when things are in alignment and when they're out of alignment? Because everybody's different.
Yeah. In alignment, energetic,
Mhm.
feeling good, like not a lot of pain in my body. out of alignment, it depends on how it wants to manifest, because I've definitely had different like ailments manifest over certain sorry, believe what you want about how like stress manifests in the body, but I've had weird ailments that have coincided with times in my life where it's like the onset of the thing and then me changing a circumstance, like that's the duration of the ailment. So I'm like, oh, okay, that job I had for a year and a half and having a wart on the bottom of my foot were tied together in some way, shape, or form. So some things like that happen, but generally, like, I'll get anxiety to the point where like my chest is tight or like my stomach hurts all the time, or I have back pain. That's when I know that like I'm carrying a lot, or I'm not in the right place. I'm ignoring something and trying to make something work, fitting a round peg in a square hole kind of thing. So yeah, it's very physical.
That is really good because like that is a really awesome and huge indicator to you of what's in alignment and what's not. There are times, like listening to you say that, there have been certain ailments I've had where I'm like, oh, yeah, I had really bad eczema on my hand or something during that time in my life. And I never put it together until you said what you just said.
Yeah.
But then there are other things that I know are not in alignment because it doesn't feel good. And I can't pinpoint something going on in my body except that it really doesn't feel good. And I need to get out of this.
Right. Sometimes you just get that intuition. Sometimes for me, it's like nightmares.
Oh.
Like I'll just have bad nightmares and I'll wake up stressed. And I'm like, oh man. So it's like, what in my waking life am I running in my head constantly? Or what I would call a racket. That's a phrase I got from the Landmark Forum years ago. But like what rackets am I running in my head that are just on repeat and is like an unwanted repeated thought? So if it's unwanted, then it's like, okay, I don't want that. I keep running it. What do I need to do to get rid of that? And sometimes it's just like, I need to have a conversation with that person so that we can get back on the same page and they know how I feel. And it can be as simple as that. Sometimes it is like, I need to walk away from a job or a relationship or, you know, fill in the blank because I just don't feel good. I don't feel good in any interaction I'm having, or it's just run its course and I'm ready for something new. So, yeah.
I like that. Do you dream a lot?
I do.
Really?
I do. I dream a lot. Lately, it's been every single night.
Wow. Is it because of the play, do you think?
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit. There were a couple nights in this last couple of rehearsals where we were learning a dance, and it felt very difficult. It felt insurmountable at times, and I was really stressed when I'd go to bed. Luckily, we changed the dance, so it's a little bit simpler, and I'm feeling a lot better about it. But the dreams didn't necessarily, imagery-wise, correlate with that, but it was like waking up feeling like I didn't get any rest, knowing that I did have a nightmare. Yeah.
I used to, well, I feel like I used to dream a lot. I actually used to do dream interpretation. Years and years ago, I did dream interpretation. I loved it.
I love it.
And yeah, and I was able, like, people would tell me their dreams and I could, boom, I know exactly what that means and I hardly know you.
Same.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that. Well, I'm going to start telling you my dreams.
I'm going to start to, okay, do you want to hear a most recent one that I think I understand?
And then I'll tell you mine too.
Okay. Ooh, I love this. All right. So I had one, I think it was last week. It was me and a horse that looks very, very much like Frodo. Like the horse was representative of Frodo. I know that based on how it looked. The size, it was a miniature horse. Frodo is a 60-pound medium-sized dog, comes up to my knees. So the horse was very representative of Frodo. We were walking around a place in Boise that I don't even know exists, but it was Boise. I know that. And it was very dry. So it had to have been summertime, super dry. And then all of a sudden the irrigation opened. And so all the water in the irrigation ditch came. and it swept me and Frodo up. And we ended up floating. I found something that could act as a raft, and me and the Frodo horse were on this raft, and then we were just heading down this irrigation ditch river. And we would occasionally hit some rapids, but it wasn't anything bad enough to flip us. And then towards the end of it, we ended up at a it's a facility, a manufacturing facility that was getting flooded out because the irrigation, it was like a flood. And no one was expecting the irrigation ditch to just open the way that it had. And we ended up at the manufacturing facility, and I was trying to look for a place that I could house my horse for the evening to be safe. Yeah. And, I'm seeing it too. To be safe while I went off and did some things. Frodo is a lover if he knows you, and he knows like 2 people. So Frodo is a very off-putting dog. That's why you haven't met him. That's why you won't meet him when you leave this space today, because he will tell you how much he doesn't like people. And in this dream, though, he would crawl into strangers' laps and just sit there for a hug and to be held. And I watched. And then we woke up.
Still a horse?
He was still a horse, but again, like a miniature horse. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's really interesting because, like, you did have a flood in your house, right?
Yeah.
So there's that. I also see, like, you guys are journeying together. Like, I also think it's interesting that it went from dry to wet. Like, I know water in dreams has a lot of symbolism. It's like an emotional symbol. How did you feel while you were, like, on the raft? Did you feel scared? Did you feel safe? Did you feel like it was all going to be okay?
I felt very protective. I had my arm around the horse. I was so protective of this animal that was with me, and very much like, I'm in charge and I got to take care of this. Scared, but it's the way that I felt my entire life. I'm the oldest of 4 kids. So I used to plan in my head, like, if someone breaks into our house, I'm going to shove that kid in that cabinet, that kid in that cabinet, that kid in that cabinet, and everybody shut up. And I'll deal with the person breaking into the house. And so that's like what this dream felt like. Like, you're fine. I got you. I'm going to take care of this.
I mean, I think that really tracks with, like, how you've been, taking care of your animals while your house is in shambles. It's not in shambles. I don't know your house.
Well, it was this morning when I walked in. I went to just say hi to the people replacing the floors, and the baseboards are all off, and I was like, oh, that is an interesting look.
Well, I think that dream is pretty indicative of, like, how protective you are over your animals, because you're doing a lot to make sure that they feel safe and that they are taken care of while you're on this journey that is kind of sweeping you away. You don't really have control over the timeline of how long this is going to take or anything. So I feel like that kind of tracks. Honk, honk.
We'll hold for this train.
Hold for train.
Hold for train.
Thank you, train.
Thank you, train.
Take a 5.
There have been times where I'm like, we can wipe that. And then you're like, you can't wipe a train that's going over the microphone. So I'll probably leave this whole piece in because it's really funny. But
what's your favorite train? I personally like Thomas.
Oh. I actually do love trains.
Do you?
Yes. It's really, I don't know why, but I really like trains. And I watched Stand By Me recently.
I haven't seen that.
Oh, you should watch it. It's an old 80s movie.
Yeah. It's one of the classic ones.
It's a classic, yeah. So back to the dream. Part of my interpretation on that as well is Frodo's 14 years old. And when I woke up, I wondered if it was the River Styx. And I was taking him on his journey, quote unquote, home to cross the Rainbow Bridge.
You've been kind of on that journey for a while.
Yeah.
You've been preparing for that for a long time.
I have. And every day I just watch as, okay, now we're limping a little bit more. Now our breathing is a little heavier. I don't know. He was really barking this morning in the studio. I did have a meeting at 9, but the last few days I'll just close him in my office and he won't even know because he's deaf. But the times I've shut my door today, he's been like, I need to tell you, ma'am.
You need to know.
Okay, tell me your dream.
Okay.
My turn.
This is my dream last night. It's pretty short because I don't remember all the details. But what I do remember is that I had a group of people, and it was like outdoors, and it was like small groups of people pretty far apart, but they were all supposed to be doing the same thing. They were all paying attention to me, and I was directing. And I had them all sing a cappella, and we all started. I didn't know what I was doing. I've never done that in my life. So I just had them all start on a note, and I was like raising my hands higher or lower to get people to like harmonize. And it sounded really, really good.
Oh.
But then just moments into seconds into this, I was like, actually, I think we should do this to like a recorded track. And so changed what I was doing. And all I remember is talking to a few different people and them saying, this sounded better before. Like, I liked what we were doing before. So my interpretation of this...
Let's wait.
Hold for siren.
Hold for siren. Okay, that was quick.
My interpretation of this is the need to trust my gut.
Ooh.
And like, there's something there about it being a cappella versus relying on an external like stimulus. So something in there. That's all I got. But like trusting myself.
Yes, I would agree. Trusting yourself. I think it goes back to the alignment piece that we were just talking about. And the fact that you were directing, like, not control, because I don't see directors as being in control. Directors are sharing. Yes, they are in control. However, they're sharing their vision and hoping that the people they're sharing it with are going to mirror it back to them so that the audience can see whatever that is, whether it's a conductor, whether it for music, whether it's a theater director, whether it's a film director, any of that. The goal is all these people that you're directing is going to give back that artistic vision that you see.
Yeah, I like that. I like that.
And I want to ask, do you know how many groups there were? Because numbers can play a huge role.
I believe there were 3.
Okay.
And that's a holy trinity, man.
It is. Yeah, my mind went to the maiden, mother, and crone aspect. And yeah, you said the Holy Trinity. 3 is a big number.
3 is a big number.
Yeah.
My name means Trinity, actually.
Does it really?
Yeah.
My name means crowned.
Crowned?
Yeah, Stephanie means crowned. So
yeah.
Tiffany means Trinity?
Yeah.
Well, look at us.
Look at us. Royalty. And,
yes. Raising above the rest.
Yes. Strongest shape in nature, the triangle.
That's right. Well, yeah, and what shape were those groups in? Like, we could dive deep.
They were just clumped.
Clumped.
Yeah.
How many people were in each group?
Maybe like a dozen.
Okay.
Just small groups.
Do you know what they were singing?
It was literally just like a note.
A note.
Yeah, it was like, like.
Wow.
Yeah.
And then you thought that you needed to bring out the recording and everyone to see, like, they were like, no, actually, that's not working.
Yeah, it was better before.
Yeah. Yeah, trust your gut, I think.
I like that.
Trust yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I miss dream interpretation. I love dream interpretation.
I do too. Do you write your dreams down, like journal about them?
I used to.
Same.
I should again because I know I remember more when I do it.
Yeah. I used to as well. There was one, it was in high school, but it wasn't senior year yet. So maybe sophomore or junior year. I think it was an anthropology class. No, archaeology. It was archaeology. But in that class, we were supposed to like write down our dreams. So just to work on our memory skills. We weren't interpreting. We were just writing down our dreams. And I remember specifically that I remembered all those dreams better because you made a habit of you wake up, you write your dreams, and then you get on with your day or whatever is happening.
Yep. I used to do that too. Do you ever lucid dream? Like where you can control your dreams?
I have like astral projection and stuff like that. Have you done that?
No.
There's an exercise that I don't even want to use the term mastered because I think that we're always learning and practicing. But there's a thing that you can do that you can get better at. And so when you're lucid dreaming or working on astral projection, you start with an object in the room that you're in. And so the example I was told was like a hairbrush, which I don't brush my hair. I can't. It's too curly. But there's this hairbrush that's sitting in the room. And as you're laying there, you watch it raise up from the position that it's in and then slowly come back down. And then eventually you move that to your body. So you can astrally project your body, your soul out of your body. I guess not your soul, but that other you on the other plane of existence astrally project and then eventually come back. But you start with a solid object in your room before you go move on to yourself.
Okay, and that's like when you're awake?
Mhm.
Or okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Mhm.
I could try that.
You should try that.
I should
I
try
haven't done that in a long time, but you should try it. And I mean, I don't know how well I got at it if I was like, look at the hairbrush. What hairbrush? There are no hairbrushes in this house.
But you can do it with anything.
Yes.
Great. Oh, I'm in. I love that kind of stuff.
I do too. So you said lucid dreaming. Do you lucid dream?
I have in the past, but it is not common for me.
Mhm.
It's not easy for me to access. I've heard little tricks and stuff like that too, where like in your dream, if you flip a light switch, the light won't change, and then you can realize that you're dreaming, or like stuff like that. If you say your name 3 times before you fall asleep, you can lucid dream. I'm like, I don't know about all that, but I believe if you believe it, you're probably more likely to be able to, because you're like setting that intention, and that intention is then in you. So,
Very true.
I don't know.
I do notice that I dream much, like I slip into dream state much quicker when I'm doing meditation.
Mm-hmm.
Like, especially if it's an in-person guided meditation, which we do a lot in yoga teacher training. And there are moments I will wake myself up with a snore, but I know that I was dreaming the whole time. And so I need to get better at remembering what just came in through that meditation, because I know that was a message.
Yeah.
That I'm like, shit.
What was it? What was it?
And then you look around the room and it's like, these ladies don't care. They love you.
Whatever you need in the room at that time.
Exactly.
If that's a nap, that's okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
What else? Oh, go ahead. I could tell you were going to say something.
Well, if you have a question, I'll go to you.
Where does your well, we kind of talked about that, but where does your personal story intersect with the work you do in the world?
I think that's a great question. So much of my story has been learning how to express myself fully, and like whether that be just being goofy or like expressing boundaries with people, just expression. So I had the pleasure of walking with a woman named Maureen O'Toole a few years ago, and she used to work with like nonprofits, and before that she worked for the government, helping them like track down bad guys and stuff. She's just like really good at like pinning people for who they are. So I don't know if she does this anymore, but she used to go on walks with people and she'd just ask you a bunch of questions. And at first it was like, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite texture? What's your favorite season? And by the end of our first walk, she had a worksheet to give me. And she's like, okay, I want you to fill out this worksheet, and then we're going to get back together next week and go on another walk, and we'll come up with your personal mission statement.
Oh.
And what ended up coming out of that, which she was spot on everything. Like anything I told her, she was like, I guess that, I guess that, I guess that. She was so good. Oh, she was a criminal profiler. That was what she was for the government. So she can, like I said, just pin people. And when I went on that second walk with her, the mission statement that ended up coming out was, I am a soul healer that, oh man, I've lost it. I repeated it so many times. Who creates safe spaces for people to express themselves.
Ooh.
And she specifically talked about how your mission statement isn't something you do, it is how you be. So you should be able to look back at your entire life and be able to apply that mission statement throughout whatever you're doing, because it's just who you are. How it comes out is different all the time. So I create safe spaces for people to express themselves. And as I've looked back over my education, over all my jobs, over the extraneous projects that I've brought to fruition, that has been like the thread throughout it. So, when I was an RA in college, I'm creating safe spaces for people to express themselves by having an open-minded environment and creating programming that brings people together so that they can make friendships with each other. When I entered the workforce, like doing theater is creating a place for both the actors to express themselves and then for the audience to be able to like sit and relax and express themselves. When I did the Idaho Pun Slam, like literally giving people a stage to come up and tell their jokes, like it's just come out in so many different ways. So I don't know if that's the intersection, but that's what comes to mind is like in my personal life, that mission statement has had to incubate. Because I haven't always known how to express myself clearly, fully, honestly. And I've had to do a lot of work around shedding a lot of shame and fear and trauma, all that. So as I've moved through that throughout my life and addressed different things and different phases, I've gotten better at expressing myself, and the more authentic I've been, the more I've noticed other people open up around me and are able to express themselves more authentically. So that's where I see it.
I think that's beautiful. And I would have to agree with that, knowing you, who you are, having been in your home, having been at a play where, like Boise Bard Players show, where you did create that safe space for not just the actors, but also the audience to feel like they were safe in that situation, especially watching Othello. Come on. That was, yeah. Oops. You did. Yeah, I can see that. Absolutely. And so it sounds like you haven't really thought about that mission statement in a while. How does it feel now, today, thinking about that? And let me rephrase that. That came out wrong. Not that you haven't thought about it, but like you're reflecting on it in this moment.
Yeah. Thinking about like how it comes out these days, it's like it still comes out with my video clients where like my boss at the play place, she frequently tells me like you just being here helps me like step into like being silly on video and being able to do it more authentically.
Yeah.
Like everything comes out a little better when you're around. and so like I don't know, it still just comes out in different situations all the time. Or like even in my personal life, I can't tell you how many times I've heard, I've never told anyone this before, but and then they tell me something about their life.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know. It just continues to be true. Like
well, in that safe space, I don't think has to be physical.
Right.
That is in you. That is who you are, and that lives in you.
I think of it like an aura.
Yeah.
Like I just extend my aura and then like I can encapsulate you if you're willing. Because like that's the thing is other people that like if you don't want to be seen, I won't see you. Because there are definitely people that want to blend into the wall and like, okay, I will let you blend into the wall. Because I've had to learn it's not my job to bring everybody out into the world, into the party, whatever it is, which was a lesson I needed to learn because I am also very vigilant. I take in people's like where they're at emotionally when I'm in a room with them. And I used to make it my responsibility.
Oh.
And it's not.
It's not.
No.
No, not at all.
And the more I try to make it my responsibility, the less authentic I am. And therefore, I'm actually then, if it is an aura, which I don't know how scientific that is, but then like I'm exuding a try-hard energy. And that affects other people. So like the more I'm just centered and I allow other people to be where they are, and if that's against the wall, that's against the wall. I don't know, I feel like it makes the world go round. It makes the world a better place because we're all just accepting where everybody is.
Yes.
And then I also feel like those that your vibe attracts your tribe kind of thing. So the people that want to be around that type of energy will find me.
Absolutely.
And then we'll click. So
yeah. And then sometimes too, like taking that, what you just said is that your vibe attracts those who are attracted to you. But I think there are also other people that can come into your life that you don't vibe with, but they're there and we're there together to teach each other or experience something together that we can then take into our future outside of that other person.
Right.
Because there have been a lot of people in my life that it's like, wow, I really did not want you in my life. And yet you played such a large role in everything that I experienced for an entire year. You can tell I'm talking about somebody.
Oh, I can name not name, but like I can check the boxes of all I call them energy vampires. Like,
yeah.
the people that want to come and siphon your energy. They don't want to. Sorry,
no.
that's not, nobody wants to do that, but some people do that to you. And maybe they're not like that in every relationship, but it's the concoction of like you two together that makes it uncomfy.
Yeah. So with that, wait, first of all, do you believe in souls?
Yes.
Okay. Do you believe in like soul contracts, soul mates, anything like that?
Yes.
Okay. So then do you think that some of those people may be souls that you made a contract with back when you were souls before you hit the earth, and this way that you are today, that you made a contract saying, I will come into your life at this time
100%.
and we're going to experience that shit together?
I think absolutely. And I think that if you believe that, it's every person you meet.
Yeah.
And that soul contract can be, I just saw you at the gas station one time. And that's the whole contract. Because if you're going to say it exists between me and you, like you have to acknowledge it exists between me and you and you and you and you and you. And yeah, I think there's like a level of accountability that we can take regardless of if you believe in soul contracts or prior making those agreements before you come here. Because I do believe that, but I know a lot of people don't.
Right.
It's taking the accountability of like, you can have somebody that you feel destroyed your life. I'm going to put that in quotes.
Yes.
Destroyed your life. But when you realize that the phrase destroyed is a story, like, can you accept that, like, I had this person in my life for so long because I was still learning lessons from them along the way, even though it hurt, even though I was uncomfortable from this time to this time, and I should have known, I should have done this, I should have left, I blah, blah, blah. Because I've had those relationships where I'm like, I was so stupid. I let this person take advantage of me for so long, and that I'm so stupid. But it's not. I needed to learn that lesson for the length of time I needed to learn it, and then it needed to end, and whatever big blow up ended it or whatever, all of those are lessons. And you learn, and then you apply it to the next person that comes into your life. And sometimes I've noticed I get cookie cutter people where it's like there's this certain shape of person, like entity, energy, that I experience it, and then they leave, and then somebody else comes in, and it's like, oh, you're the same like archetype of person.
Ooh.
That comes in, and I'm like, okay, now I made the same mistakes with this person, but I learned it in half the time this time. So how am I going to take that the next time I find this same archetype? And then I believe we go through these lessons until we learn them. So like if you are in the habit of dating bad men or whatever, like ideally every time you make that quote mistake and correct it and you realize it, you learn a little bit more so that the next time you encounter that person, that entity, whatever, you can make a new choice until you don't make that choice anymore and you make the one that feels the most aligned for you.
100%. I agree with everything you just said. Yes.
Didn't know I had a little tirade in me today.
Hey, I am here for it. I love it. And I love talking about this stuff because you can't really talk about it with everybody.
Mhm.
But yeah, like that. We are all here together. And we have to remember that. We're all like, even the people we've never met before, we are all on this fucking planet together.
Mhm.
And we need to start acting like it, and we need to treat everybody like that. And I had a not incident is not the right word, but something happened recently. I was not here at the studio, and someone came to my door, knocked. I saw it on my ring. They knocked, they pulled on the handle, they knock, pull on the handle. It's like, what do you need? I don't know who you are. We don't have an appointment. I don't know what is so urgent. But I was actually at home letting my dog out to potty before coming back. And the sign on the door says by appointment only. And so, in my head, I'm like, damn it, dude, it says by appointment only. Like, what is so urgent? And then you could see that he had pulled something out of his pocket and then he shoved it into my mail slot. When I got back from letting Frodo out to potty, it was a business card, and on it said, call me about the missing check. And I'm like, I don't know this person's, like, the name. It's a business card. I don't know this person's name. I have no idea what they're talking about. And all of a sudden, my anxiety's up, and I'm like, I don't have time for that shit.
Like,
yeah, what is happening? And so I called him, and he didn't answer, and I left a message, and I said, hi, this is Steph at this location. I am in this business. I'm sorry, I do not recognize you. And I felt like I was a little stern, but anybody who's ever heard me, they're like, Steph, you're never stern. I didn't hear anything like that. But I like in my head, I'm being like, I don't know why you were here, blah, blah, blah. And then he called me back and he was like, thank you so much for calling me. I used to be in your location, and a client from 3 years ago finally paid me, and I'm just looking for my check. They said that they sent the check to this address. And I was like, I am so sorry. I don't have a check. I'm the only person here who checks the mail. If I see it, like, I've still got his card. So if it does come through the mail slot, I know to call him. But it was that thing. Like, as I started zooming out after that phone call with that person, it reminded me, we are all in this together, and you don't know what someone's going through.
Yeah.
And like, there's only so much text you can fit on an already full business card anyway.
Yeah.
And he wrote words that got me to say, I'm calling this man.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah.
I like stories like that.
I do too. Because it really does. It makes you step back and be like, whoa, Stephanie, calm down.
Yeah. And reminds you that, like, the world isn't out to get you.
No, they're not.
Yeah. That's been part of my journey, is like learning to not be afraid of other people. Because like,
tell me more.
Yeah, just, I feel like as a kid, I don't know, I just was nervous around people. I don't know what kind of neurodivergence I have, but I used to not be able to look people in the eye because, especially men, because I feared the intimacy that just that eye contact created. And it took me a long time to realize it wasn't that intimacy that I was afraid of. It was my lack of boundaries that I was afraid of.
Wow.
Because if they perceived more intimacy than I was ready for, I didn't trust that I'd be able to say, sorry, I'm not looking for that kind of, interaction, relationship, whatever. I know that's not just eye contact, but I had to realize that I wasn't afraid of other people. I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to respond correctly to situations that I was uncomfortable in. I didn't trust myself to say, I gotta go, or this isn't right for me, or no thank you. So anyway, that's just led me to have a much more open relationship to humanity, I guess, is just realizing that people are just people. And it's not only just that, like, because that's a very mean world, like, oh, somebody's going to treat me weird and, like, I'm going to have to deal with that. But it's also, like, the judgment that I feel for other people. I mean, I still struggle with that sometimes, but I'm always trying to understand where people are coming from and understanding that people are usually responding from a place of their own preservation.
Yeah, yes.
And it's not about me.
Absolutely.
So that's helped me a lot, like just be in the world better and like be able to create those safe spaces for people to express themselves. Because if I'm secure in my boundaries, in where I stand, in my own confidence, that allows other people to just behave the way that they're going to behave. And it doesn't have anything to do with me. So then I can react from a better place than being defensive or like being scared. So, or being angry.
Yeah. And very few of us, and me included, walk through life like that every single day with every single encounter. Like I can think about, you know, you go to the grocery store or something and somebody rubs you the wrong way. And like, it's not about you. It's not against you. You just happen to be standing right where they need that one can of soda.
Yes.
And you're standing there on the phone or something.
Yes. And, like, it's totally normal to feel annoyed. Like, you can feel the way you feel about somebody's actions, but, like, can you also let it go?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. Because that's also been a journey for me, is, like, realizing that I don't have to be perfect all the time. I don't have to be all loving all the time. Or that, like, all loving, quotes, can include anger, frustration, annoyance, like, I'm a human.
Yeah.
And I'm allowed to feel those things. And I do feel those things. And to deny them is not true to me. And like, why do I have to not be any of those things when other people get to be those things?
Agree.
So.
I agree. I'm reading a book right now called Anger by Thich Nhat Hanh.
Oh, yeah.
And it's because I experience anger just like every human in the entire world does. Every being in the entire world experiences anger. And so I'm reading it because I thought that I was having a problem with my anger in how I express it, which I don't express it. I've never, there have been moments where I have expressed my anger and it scared me. And so I'm reading the book, and in the first chapter, I was like, wait, I'm not that kind of angry person. I'm actually okay.
Yes.
So what you said about, you know, experiencing all those different emotions because we're human, it made me think about how, yeah, we are all human. And some of us express things differently, and that's okay. And you should express things too.
Yeah. I swear, like, I'm still learning this. I'm 35 years old, and I'm like, I moved in with my partners, and it's been a journey of like, I'll get frustrated with something external from the house, and I'll be like ranting about it, and like, I'm just so frustrated, and they did this, and I just can't get over it. And then I'll immediately feel guilty because I'm like, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have like brought that on you. I shouldn't have brought it into the house. I should just keep it in. I don't need to be reacting this way. And they've been really good about telling me like, you're allowed to be mad. Like, that is angering and you need to get it out. And so I'm like, yeah, you're right. So it's been nice to have like a support system that encourages me to express myself and doesn't feel annoyed when I express it or feel like I'm yelling at them when I come home, or, you know, I don't know what other people think, but it's just been nice to be reaffirmed that I'm allowed to feel the way I feel.
Yeah.
That I'm still accepted and I'm not labeled as like a raging bitch or like, you know, difficult.
Well, and I think the people who are right for you in whatever relationship it might be, they are the ones who accept you as your fully authentic self. And those who don't, those are the ones who are not in alignment. And that soul, our contract will hopefully be over soon. You know?
Exactly.
Because, as friends, as loving people to the people that we love, giving them the space to experience what they're experiencing and feel it, I think is a beautiful act of love.
It is. It is. And it's a hard one.
It is so hard.
Sometimes it's hard to like listen to where somebody's at and not want to like fix them or provide the solution, because you're like, well, I see a solution. Like, can I make you see the solution too? And they're like, hey, I just needed to like have an ear.
Yeah.
That's something that I've struggled with a lot, is like, I want to fix. If you have a problem, I want to fix it. And like, no, that's again, it's not my job. And they don't want me to. Like, that's the thing. If they want me to fix something, they will ask.
Yeah. You're that safe space for them to come to just bleh.
Yeah, when I remember. When I remember that. Yeah. This is a good conversation.
I know. Look at us going super deep. We don't even have drinks in our hands.
Oh, but imagine if we did.
Oh.
Second podcast.
Yes.
We're just drinking and seeing how it devolves from there.
Oh, absolutely. We are so going to do that. Ooh, tell me about an experience that changed how you show up for others.
Oh, boy. A specific experience. I mean, I think like getting more specific about what I was just saying, I've had so many conversations with my partner where like I haven't, over the years, I've gotten better and better, because every time we have a conversation where I, in the past, have tried to help immediately, when really it's like not the time for that conversation. It's not the time for offering solutions. That was a lesson I had to learn over and over again with the same person in almost the same conversations, where, they would express that they were upset about something, and I would immediately dive into solutions, and then they would get more upset with me, and then I would get more upset with them, because then I'm defensive, because I'm like, I'm just trying to help. And going through that over and over again has helped me better recognize when I'm doing that and I'm trying to, like, I'm responding in a way that's inappropriate for what this person needs right now. So, while it's not like one experience, that's integral to how I approach conversations now. And I feel like my interactions, even with my partner, have gotten way more peaceful, even in the frustration, because I'm able to hold space better from a place of just listening and then reaffirming the feelings. Like, yeah, I see that you're frustrated. That is a very frustrating situation. So getting better at that, and like, again, just letting people be where they are and not needing to move them where I think they need to be. Because like, when you have the vision that you can see the potential for somebody's life to get a lot better, like that's where I struggle to not share, because I'm like, I know the answer. Trust me. I know. You just need to listen, implement. Got it? Like, that's not, it doesn't work that way. So knowing that the peace comes from just letting them express it, and like, they're going to get through it. They're going to get through this frustration, and like, they're going to learn whatever lesson they need to learn.
That right there.
And I don't need to teach it to them.
Yep.
Like, that's not my job.
Nope.
This episode is called That's Not My Job.
Watch so I throw all of the transcript into AI, and it helps me figure out like what to call it sometimes.
Oh,
it's going to
great.
pick up on that, and it's going to say, this is your title. Speaking of AI, because you did mention
Yes,
that
I
earlier.
did. You're right.
Yeah.
You got your tinfoil hat?
Let's go.
Okay. This is a juicy one, I think.
Okay.
There are, and I did a video of this recently. I need to do some follow-ups, but there are a number of Idaho groups on Facebook that are titled things like Idaho State History, I Grew Up in Idaho, just a lot of very Idaho-identifying groups, and they have thousands of people in them. Some have 50,000, 80,000, a lot of people. And also, most of these groups are run by exclusively fake profiles. So there will be like 15 admins and moderators in these groups. And when you go look at them, they're not real. They're not real. They're not in Idaho. Some of them are straight up AI. And then the only posts that are posted in those groups are by these fake profiles. And most of them are AI generated. A lot of them will start with like breaking, Idaho just blah, 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 blah. And the post is bullshit. It's all AI written, and then it's usually an AI generated image. The ones I've seen a lot of lately are earthquakes in Idaho, and it'll show an outline of Idaho that's not even correct.
Oh.
It'll be drawn incorrectly. And then you'll see different posts come up that are like, should voter ID be mandatory? Or they'll post like a repost of the city of Boise sharing about LGBTQ inclusion. And I believe, this is where my conspiracy theory like comes in. I believe that these groups are created to play on the identifier of I'm an Idahoan. The identity of being an Idahoan, so that they get into your feed, they get you interacting with like these stupid, funny, dumb AI things like Puxatawny Phil being arrested by Idaho State Police.
I think I saw that pop up on my feed.
Well, they post about 5 a day, so like that does not surprise me at all. So they post these silly things to get you engaged so that that group pops up more frequently in your notifications, in your feed, and then they'll throw in something like, is voter ID, should it be mandatory? So that people get in the comment sections and start to argue with each other. Because then you get people in there that are like, the Democrats are stupid, the Republicans are stupid. And you just get people arguing over things that an AI bot put in your feed, put in your mind. And you don't even know if you're arguing with a real person in the comment section. But I don't know who's at the top of it. I think these are like foreign agents that are trying to mess with the voting population of the United States. Oh, and every once in a while, there will be a post that says, my autistic son designed this quilt or this t-shirt, buy it. Mm-hmm. And they'll send a link and then they'll @ everyone. And people are like, oh, I need it. It's so good. I gotta have it. It's some like Idaho identifying shirt. Fake. It's all fake. Like the website's real. You could go buy a shirt, but it's going to be an AI shirt and that money's going to China.
I was just going to ask, like, where is that money going? And now they have your information.
Yep. And then I ended up looking farther into this and I found other groups from Kentucky, Missouri, Montana, North Dakota. There's all these groups that are like, I grew up in Kentucky. I grew up in Florida. And it's the same AI post about my autistic son designed this with, instead of Idaho, it'll be Florida or whatever, you fill in the blank, Kentucky, sending all, it's across the country.
Well, even in Hawaii, because I think I've seen that. I know I grew up in Hawaii.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're all run by AI, and there's nothing we can do about it. And some of the posts get a label that says AI info that's itty bitty teeny tiny at the top. But so much of Facebook users are the older population that don't look for that kind of stuff. They can't identify when something is real or fake. AI writing and images have gotten a lot better. And I think it's nefarious. It comes across as like, oh, it's just for clicks. It's just a dumb thing. It's funny. But I don't think so. I think it's to divide us further.
Oh, yeah.
By pitting us against each other in the comment sections.
Oh, absolutely. Weirdly, I have been getting more people I don't know commenting on my Facebook posts. Now, granted, most of my posts I leave like globally open, and those are the ones that get these people I don't know, and they've tried to start political arguments on some of my stuff, and I just like I turn that person off or something like that. Yeah, I think so. They want that reaction, and they want us to fight against each other, and I'm not going to let that happen on my page.
Yeah, no.
So then, okay. Do you know the story of Punch the Monkey?
No.
Oh, I was going to ask if you think that's fake.
What is it?
It's this little, I think it's a macaw, or is that a bird?
That's a bird.
Okay, it's not a macaw. It's a monkey, a little monkey at a zoo in China. The mom pushed it away, and so the zookeepers gave him a little orangutan stuffed toy that he carried around, and that became his mommy. And then eventually he was accepted by the other monkeys in his group, and they were friends. And then they started grooming each other, but then occasionally he'll get kicked out of that group. And I can tell that most of the text on these posts are very AI.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell now.
Mm-hmm.
It's so
If you
easy.
can.
If you can, that's true. I can tell. not saying I'm that awesome, but I can tell right now. I bet it'll get better. But I know that the text at least is AI. And so now I'm wondering if the whole story is fake.
Maybe.
Look it up when we're done here.
Okay, Punch the Monkey.
Punch the Monkey.
It could be.
I fell in love with him.
That's okay. We've all been duped by AI. Yeah, a lot of the AI slop that goes out is really harmless. It's a bunch of BS.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know. For a while there, it was videos of bears and deer jumping on a trampoline or whatever from like security footage in the middle of the night. Like, all of it's AI, and the videos are so good now that you can't really tell what's AI anymore. There's videos, not to get like super political, but like there's videos of Charlie Kirk that go around now about quote things he said, where if you look close enough, his lips are AI. Like somebody is making AI content about political figures, about what they said, and that's not even real. Like, that's icky.
It is very icky.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, it's not scary for me who can look for those things and knows what to look for because I've been in graphic design, because I've been in video for years, like analyzing that type of work. But it's scary for like our older generations that don't have that ability to differentiate what's real or not. And I feel like people are getting taken advantage of every day.
Absolutely.
On social media.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I would agree with you. Because yeah, it sparks people to comment on some of these things, and then all of a sudden you're giving away personal information in just a few words of some of the things that you say.
Yeah. Scary.
It is very scary.
I don't know what we do about it. I guess like if I had a call to action to people, it's like check your groups, check if the people are real, exit those groups, and when you see a post written by AI, or if you see a post that's too good to be true, I guess, because if you don't know what AI looks like, research it and then report the post. Report it as false information, because that's the only way that Facebook will take it seriously. There's no real way to do anything, and like educate your elders.
Absolutely.
So-
Absolutely. Well, I saw your video that you made about this, and one of the posts you used as an example was the one that there are sharks like swimming through the
lakes.
Yeah, like up in McCall and Coeur d'Alene. And you look at that and you're like, sharks can't make it out of the salt water, guys. Also,
It's
the
not all
nearest ocean
connected.
is really far away.
Yeah.
Like, but no, the salmon can't even make it up here anymore. We're fighting to get the salmon back. Now we have sharks?
Yeah. Like critical thinking.
Yeah.
Underrated skill. Anyway, there's my tinfoil hat of
Love
the
it.
day.
Thank you. I love it. Okay, we'll go from that and we'll do our closing question. When everything external falls away, like our titles and our labels, who are you at your core?
Straight up goblin. No. I don't know. How do you do that without the labels? I'm just Tiffany. I don't know. How would you answer that question?
You can't put this on
Oh,
me.
yes, I can. Welcome to the Essence of You with Tiffany Eller. Today we'll be interviewing Steph Locolani.
Who am I at my core? My goodness.
Yeah.
Why is this question so hard?
Yeah, like, is it adjectives? Am I a caring person? Am I a creative person?
It could be anything you want. I've heard a lot of very, very different answers to this. And for me, who am I at my core? I'm Steph. But that's the body I am in today, and that's the name that my parents gave me. At my core, I think I'm a lover because I think about all the animals I've ever had in my life and the people that I've had in my life that I absolutely adore and I will go to bat for. And I'm someone who likes to learn and really get to know things, but more importantly, know people.
Yes, I love that. I love the way you put that. Because, like, the things that come up to me, my instinct is, like, I'm a light being.
Ooh.
I'm just, same. It's like, I'm here in this body, but, like, the essence of me is a light being that, like, I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn who I am. I'm here to learn how to express. I'm here to experience everything that this human life has to offer. And I don't know what that looks like. And that's where that, going back to the very beginning of our conversation, I'm just taking that next logical step forward. Where is it going to take me? I don't know, because I don't try to make plans. I try to experience the present here. And sure, like, I have goals, I have things I want to do, I want to accomplish in life, but I strive to be right here and be present. So, yeah, a learner. I don't know. Yeah.
I love that. And so then I want to do a follow-up question to you. There is so much to experience in this life. Do you think you've done your best to experience that, or do you need to change something in your life to experience more?
I mean, if I'm going with being present, I believe, like, I'm exactly where I should be, and I've gone through everything I needed to up until this point. And also, like, as I'm casting my vision towards the future, there are definitely things that I want to still experience that I don't feel like I've mastered yet. Like, my money, for example. Like, I feel like I have a lot to learn about attracting money and accepting money and, like, how that ties in to self-worth. And so that's, like, a big part of my journey right now. Being a better mother. Like, that's something that I'm constantly learning and will continue to learn as my daughter grows up. Like, and she's always changing. So it's like, there's nothing I could do to prepare me for what she's going to be like at 18, right? Like, it's just the daily meeting her where she's at and being able to, like, look at myself and go, okay, is that the best way I could have handled that? Or, like, did I snap when I didn't need to? You know, it's a daily analysis of how I'm behaving and, like, where to go from there. And am I speaking my truth? Am I being true to myself? Do I feel honored by the way that I've approached this thing, or, like, the people that are around me? So, yeah, I don't know. It's such heavy questions.
I know.
A lot left to learn. That's
So
for
much.
sure.
So much.
So, yeah.
Okay. Let's plan to do that learning together in the future.
Heck yes.
I
I'm
love
learning how to
this.
be on a podcast right now.
So am I.
I'm learning I smile too much.
No, don't ever change that. Don't ever change that.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. And thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. What a pleasure. What
This
a delight.
has been fun.
Yeah.
I know. This is how we should hang out every time.
Yeah. The world needs to hear
The
how
world needs-
brilliant
yes.
we are.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
The pinnacle of creativity, friendship, depth.
And we won't get kicked out of here.
Hell yeah.
And with that, we'll leave that for people to wonder what that means. Thank you all for listening and for watching, and we will see you again next time. If anybody wants to be a guest, like my beautiful friend Tiffany, just let me know. And maybe you'll be in that seat and we'll be talking about who you are at your core. Thank you, Tiffany.
Thank you, Steph.